go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Masters Fantasy Show, brought to you by MastersFantasyFootballLeagues.com. My name is Jonathan, the Commish here at Masters, joined today by Dynasty Owl, the Doc. Together, we are the Masters crew. What's up, guys? How you doing today?
Doing great. Another week.
Yeah, doing good.
Yep, another week rolling into week 10. One big announcement here at Masters I wanted to pass along real quick. This week, the playoff leagues are going up on the schedule. So you guys will be able to start signing up for those. Kind of gives me chills even just talking about it, thinking there'll be playoffs right around the corner.
Yeah.
And if you've never done a playoff league, please come check them out. I promise you'll love these leagues. So much skill, so much strategy. They run all the way from wild card weekend to the Super Bowl. So you definitely get your bang for your buck and a lot of fun. All right, let's jump into today's show. Heading into week 10. I think, we're getting to some of the most important weeks in your dynasty league. Times that maybe you could get some trades off that you couldn't, in the past. Guys are looking to win. Guys are looking to get rid of players to win now, etc. Week 10, this is going to be a quarterback show on dynasty buy nows, dynasty trade targets at the quarterback position. Kick it over to you guys, whichever one you want to go first. Floor is all yours.
Sure. I can kick us off. Just to kind of reiterate what the commission was saying, these are trade targets for rebuilding teams, teams that aren't contending this year. And so, because obviously my guy doesn't fit the bill if you're looking to contend right now, but that's Zach Wilson. Gets banged up, missed a couple weeks. There's a little bit of Mike White fever out there, comes in, plays decent. And Zach Wilson, I don't want to say he underperformed because all rookies, I think expectations always get set a little too high. But struggled a little bit early on, but also had a couple of games where he showed that, flashed that potential. But more importantly, I think his weaponry started to flash that potential. Elijah Moore coming off a 2-touchdown game on Thursday night. Corey Davis has looked decent as well. When he's been healthy. Missed last week with an injury. But so I think the Jets this offseason are going to continue to surround Zach Wilson with weapons that can make him successful. They really need to keep building on that offensive line, which I expect them to do. But most importantly, he's in no danger of them drafting another quarterback anytime soon. They took him number 2 overall, so he's going to get a nice long chance to be the guy there. And I've seen him dropped in Masters format, Dynasty leagues. I think I picked him up for $2 in a league. But I think this is the guy you could go, throw a future third rounder out there in trade talks and get him pretty easily. And I think he's going to have a long career and hard to kind of come up with a pro player comparison for him, just from a fantasy perspective. I think he can be, like a above average pocket passer type of guy who offers a little bit of mobility, not quite that rushing upside as like a Justin Fields would have. But, out of these, rookie quarterbacks, I think he's the most affordable, when you're talking about the top end guys. And I think, there's a reason he's the number 2 pick of the draft. So go get him while you can and build your dynasty team around him.
I've also seen him just flat out dropped in leagues. I picked him up on waivers. Just something I want to add to that Jets situation. This was never a situation where Zach Wilson was going to come in, complete that roster. They were going to be a playoff team.
Yeah.
This was always going to be a slow build, bring some weapons in around him. We have not seen the best of Zach Wilson yet. So
yeah,
I'm with you. I just think it's too early to jump ship on him.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it too. He's taking his lumps early, getting some good experience. I agree with Alec too. I feel like the weapons are kind of showing themselves. And they continue to add receivers, offensive linemen. I think Zach Wilson will be just fine. My guy is a little different, just not a rookie, anything like that. But my guy's going to be Deshaun Watson. Because I know a lot of fantasy owners are going to have a decision point to make. Now they know for a fact he's not playing again this year. I think if you're making a playoff push, you'd be more willing to unload a guy like Watson, who, we don't really even know what next year is going to look like. So there's a lot of things up in the air. Yes, it's a risk, but I think we've seen Deshaun Watson, has that elite capability in this league and can be an upper echelon fantasy quarterback for like the next 10, 12 years, assuming his legal issues get situated and figured out here, which I kind of feel like they will. I don't know. It just seems like something that probably will happen. And even if it doesn't, I feel like it's okay to take the risk here. He's a guy that can transform your team, and you can't really get those guys for cheap usually. And right now, I feel like it's probably the cheapest you can get Deshaun Watson. So I'm going to go out there, just float some offers out there, try to get him. And hope for the best with his off-field stuff. And if he comes back at that point, I don't really care where he ends up. I feel like it's going to be a good player to have on your roster to help you get going in the right direction. So Deshaun Watson's my guy there.
Yeah, I completely agree, especially now that the trade deadline's come and go and he didn't get traded. I think his dynasty value is at an all-time low, the sense that, people are getting real excited about like a Miami landing spot or a Philly or a Carolina, but he stayed put. And we're also kind of under the assumption now he is going to kind of miss the whole rest of the year because Houston hasn't played him yet. So I think the teams who were in contention mode, they could be looking to sell, which makes it a great time to buy if you're a rebuilder. And you just bank on the fact that next year he's going to be playing somewhere, and hopefully all the legal stuff is gone. And I think he absolutely is a guy who can transform a fantasy roster. Unlike my guy Zach Wilson's probably more of just like a Matt Ryan type of quarterback on your team. But Deshaun Watson, we know he can be a difference maker.
Yeah, both great takes. Both quarterbacks I'd like to have on my dynasty roster. I'll toss one more name in the ring. That's going to be Trevor Lawrence. And I think you made a point about Deshaun Watson's value being at an all-time low. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's about where Trevor Lawrence is right now. I think a lot of people expected him to come into the NFL, light things up, be a top 10 quarterback right away. And that didn't happen, obviously, but I think there's a lot of things that went into that hurt Trevor Lawrence along the way. One was, right off the rip, losing Travis Etienne. And I kind of was thinking about James Robinson before the show started, and I know he's had some fantasy relevant weeks. I don't think he's a true number one running back, and a couple stats to back that up. I mean, 100-yard rushing game this year. All of his games where he scored over 15 points, scored a touchdown in all of those games. Really touchdown dependent, doesn't catch a lot of passes. And then looking at that wide receiving core too, obviously DJ Shark goes down. We still don't know whether those two were going to have a connection or how that was exactly going to turn out. But it left them with, Marvin Jones, Laviska Shenault. And one thing I was thinking about Laviska before the show started too was, is this guy overhyped? Has he been overhyped? A guy that we all seen a path for where he could have been a number one wide receiver, et cetera. It just hasn't happened on the field yet. Maybe he's just not ready. Maybe he's not going to be that true, number one type of wide receiver. I just think there's a lot of improvements to be made in that Jacksonville offense. And I also want to bring up Urban Meyer too, man. I think, a new coach coming into the NFL, straight out of college. I just think there was a lot of things working against that Jacksonville offense. I do expect that offense to get better. As soon as next year, I think that they will bring in some more weapons, whether Shark comes back or not. Maybe they draft one of these, wide receivers coming out this year. I think we'll see something like that. They get healthy. I think he's at his bottom, and I think, this is a guy we're talking about a possible 15 years of elite production. I think you could still get him, solidify the quarterback position. This might be the cheapest you can do that.
For sure. I mean, this is a guy who we were talking about, upcoming rookie drafts back in the summer. I mean, you could have made a case for him going anywhere in the first round. And, I think all that potential is still there, even though he got off to a little bit of a slow start. So all those reasons we loved him and all the reasons why he was, the future number one pick for basically every year he was in college hold true, even though, the rookie year got off to a little bit of a slow start.
All right, guys, good stuff. That's going to wrap up this edition, Dynasty Quarterbacks. We think for teams that are rebuilding, you should go get right now. As always, thanks so much for watching. If you could hit the like and subscribe button, come be a part of the Masters family. Love to have you. Any last words, guys?
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for
Thank
listening,
you, folks.